Hello my friends and welcome back. It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you. We're gonna immediately jump to Kursk Oblast. We're gonna jump to the view of the first person view drone, FPV drone, and it's hunting something unusual. It's hunting a Russian Ka-52 attack helicopter alligator. Let's watch the video. I hope YouTube allows me to show it. Now this is the Ukrainian drone, right? Look at it. Bada beam, so close, shoof, it flies by, almost catching it. It tried to hit the Ka-52 alligator, but it missed it narrowly, and the alligator is faster, of course, so it cannot catch it anymore. But I think this would have been the very first kamikaze drone kill for the helicopter. Would have been awesome. Maybe Friday. We're gonna continue on the Kursk topic because in this footage you can see a long-range 170mm Koksan self-propelled gun from North Korea. And they are on the front, used by the Russians in Kursk. The enemy published a video of a North Korean artillery that can hit targets at a distance of up to 60 kilometers. Now it's very questionable if it actually hits targets at 60 kilometers, but it can shoot the range of 60 kilometers into some area. A few weeks ago, rumors appeared on the internet about transfer of equipment from North Korea to the front. Now it is weird. We're so used to it. We're so, North Korean troops here and there, their guns, their ammunition. I mean, let's take 3 years back. We have a European country at war with North Korea. You would hear this 3 years ago, it would, you would go crazy. How is this possible? But nowadays, not many Western countries react to it at all. I haven't seen any, in my eyes, proper reactions to it. Let's for a moment also take a look at the war map, just so we're all at the same page. This is Kursk, salient Kursk operation by Ukrainians. On January the 5th, the Ukrainians started a counteroffensive in Kursk. Now we have information that it's pretty limited. I mean, they started attacking on 3 different areas, and I'm just gonna wave around my cursor and draw some imaginary lines on this map. Doesn't really matter. They attacked everywhere pretty much in Kursk, from the area they control. They advanced pretty much everywhere, but it's minor advancements. We're not talking about tens of kilometers like the first Kursk operation. This one was more local, but it surprised the Russians. And just to illustrate, let's go back. 31st of December, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th of January. Nothing changes. Now let's go to 6th. You can see they pushed the Russians into the gray zone, and then the Russians attacks back and push the Ukrainians back. Not much changes on the map, but a lot changes with the numbers. See, this is why I want to point it out with this war. It's incredibly important to understand lines on a map don't play as big of a role in this war as people think they do. What happens behind these lines, what happens in the economy, with the inflation, with the losses, with the tank production rate, with the missile production rate, FPV numbers, that's important. Allies. And in this scale, I would say Ukraine is handling themselves really good. And to illustrate it, here is a losses chart from yesterday. Well, I didn't make a video yesterday, I made it today. But yesterday, 800,000 was the number got completed. It's an anti-record. It's Russian casualties. Now I think this is wounded and KIA and missing in action also, all combined. But 1,970 from January 7th, that was yesterday, in the 24-hour period. I mean, this is a pure anti-record. Artillery systems, 45. Vehicles, fuel checks, 170. And we're closing to 1 million. I think by the end of 2025, Russians will have lost 1 million men as casualties. Of course, some of them are wounded, they're treated, and they go back in action. But it's a number comparable to World War I and World War II in some battles. And you might look at some lines on the map, Russia pushing back in Kursk or trying to control Pokrovsk in the eastern Ukraine. But if you look at what's happening with their economy, with their inflation and with their losses, then they're going all in. And at some point, the resources run out. Now, my friends, I would like to just devote 1 minute to the people who actually allow me to do what I do, who actually are, you could say, my bosses, because they make it possible for me. So, I'm gonna thank them in the weirdest way possible by butchering their names with my Estonian pronunciation. Let's go. Leifur Skulason. Stu and Marianne Hart. Jai Toran Tarak Stubhart. Stubhart. Damn, what a name. We have difficult ones today. Hug Harris. Donald Demers. Thank you to these 5 people. Also, I want to say, if you are a monthly member of Buy Me a Coffee, then you will have this patch. If you don't have it yet, just write to me. Look at all these people. They have written to me in Buy Me a Coffee. I answer every last message there. Of course, I do. Just write to me, let's talk, give me your address, I'll send you the patch because you deserve it. That's how easy it is. Now, my friends, we're going to look at Trump. Yes, Donald Trump, because he, I would love to focus on Ukraine, but I can't. The dude keeps surprising me. He held his press conference, and in that press conference, of course, he dropped some bombshells, like verbal ones. Trump threatens to put tariffs on Denmark over Greenland. You might think, hey, it's not connected to anything at all. Why are you reporting about this? In my eyes, it is. Donald Trump said that the USA needs Greenland for national security purposes, that people don't even know whether Denmark actually has the legal right to it, and he added that people will likely vote for independence or joining the USA. Now, the thing is, I do agree with him. USA has a very significant importance to Greenland for United States security and North American security, Canadian security. But the thing is, I don't know if Trump knows his history, but he doesn't need to own Greenland or occupy Greenland. United States has had their military presence, bigger in the Cold War, in Greenland for almost a century, like half a century. Very big military presence. In Cold War, it was a massive military presence. You can lease out military bases. I mean, Denmark is a NATO country. You can just lease out your base there if you need to. You don't need to control or occupy the whole country. Somebody should tell this to Trump. I mean, Greenland is a NATO area. There's no need for this. There's no need for tariffs. There's no need to punish Denmark. They're on the same side. Also, at the same time, we saw Trump's plane land on Greenland. Everybody's going crazy, like, what the hell is going on? He's suddenly talking about tariffs and punishing Denmark, taking Greenland, and then his plane lands. Is he really serious? It then turned out it was Trump's son flying with a Trump plane. It sparked a lot of confusion online. And Danish people are going crazy. And by the way, it got so big that the Danish Prime Minister, Mette Frederiksen, actually answered that Greenland is still not for sale. You know, Donald Trump loves deals and, to get stuff that others don't. Greenland is not on sale. She said that Greenland's Prime Minister, Mette Egede, has been very, very clear about it, that they don't intend to become part of the United States. And by the way, Greenland has actually officially held a referendum, so its people have chosen their fate. I mean, they're democratically part of Denmark, and they have big autonomy from Denmark, so they're happy, they're good. And there is, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is even right now a United States military presence in Greenland, so there's no need to actually occupy or control the big island. You can just have a base from there. Alright, ended with that shenanigans. It's as bit of entertaining as it is important, but now we'll jump back to Ukraine. I'm kidding you. We'll jump back to Russia because Ukrainians had a bit of fun. They released UAVs against Engels Airbase. I mean, Engels is the home to Russia's strategic air fleet. We're talking about Tu-95 bombers. I cannot confirm if they were present at the time, perhaps not, but we have plenty of videos of the aftermath of the attack, and it had to be a massive UAV attack because locals reported. We cannot take Russian official channels because they claim that they shot down all the UAVs all the time. Locals claim that there was over 30 explosions. If you know it's Ukrainian UAVs and if you count 30 explosions inside Russia, I mean, they shot down some UAVs, so Ukraine has probably sent out like 50 or 60. That is massive. That is the time to say, ooh la la, very nice. And the fire speaks for itself. I always like watching Russia burn. It's like eye candy for me. It's very beautiful. I think Russians themselves also are so used to it. Yeah, what is burning here is the oil depot of Engels. Now, I'm not sure if it's an oil production facility or an oil storage facility for the strategic fleet of the Engels Airbase. One of them, it doesn't really matter. The oil is burning. That's what matters. Now, my friends, a story about the F-16s, and it speaks for itself. I read up about that story and it's insane. It's really like a ace fighter pilot story from Second World War. The video is 1 minute long. Let's just watch it and then I'll just give some additional comments.
For the first time in history, an F-16 fighter jet operated by a Ukrainian pilot destroyed 6 cruise missiles during a single run.
Immediately you might have some errors because you and me both know but that F-16s have the capacity to carry 4 anti-air missiles. 4, so how can it shoot down 6?
With 2 of them being shot down using the aircraft cannon.
Damn.
During a massive Russian missile strike targeting critical civilian infrastructure in December, the pilot assumed his station and flew the Fighting Falcon into action. The F-16 carries a payload of just 4 air-to-air missiles. However, the pilot managed to take down 2 additional Russian cruise missiles with the onboard 20mm M61A1 6-barrel Gatling gun. Previously, Ukrainian pilots were training such methods of...
We don't really think about it, but the F-16, a modern fighter, it's 40 years old even more, but still, it's a modern fighter platform. It still has a Gatling gun. I don't really connect, like Gatling gun for me is going back to like A-10 Warthog and even before, pre-modern era. I think about this, it's a machine gun, you cannot do much with it. Well, the F-16 shot down cruise missiles with it.
Of taking down aerial threats on simulators. The pilot noted that he had to follow the cruise missiles that generally fly at 650 kilometers per hour, no closer than 500 meters, to avoid being hit by debris.
So I've shot like AK-4 in the military in 300 meters, quite hard to hit anything. He was able to shoot cruise missiles 500 meters away while flying 650 kilometers per hour, and they're like tiny dots only. This is a sniper shot. Sniper shot for the Gatling gun. It's an amazing story. So yeah, he shot out all 4 of his anti-air missiles and shot down 4 cruise missiles. And then he got the command from the control center to come back because he had low fuel. He started to turn back, but then saw 2 more cruise missiles and he decided to engage them with the Gatling gun and shot them down. This is unbelievable to me. It's a really cool story. It takes me back to the coast of Kiev times in the first months of war. Now, my friends, almost a month later, which is half a month, 3 weeks later, after the breaking apart of 3 carriers, oil carriers in the Kerch Straits, 2 of them broke apart and the 3rd one 2 days later. It was a massive oil spill, mazut, which is like a heavy fuel oil. We can see a video here, and I've reported about it in almost every video after that, because it's not over. It's still going on. First of all, we got an idea of Russian Economic Ministry, whatever they called, they rescued the birds. They cleaned them up, like you do when you see birds covered with oil. You try to be good, you clean them up. give them medical aid, and then release them back. Well, they did. Last video I reported it. They released them back, but the habitat was still covered with oil, so they died. What? And now we have videos of them trying to clean up this mazut, and we have another reports that over 30 dolphins have perished. Dolphins, they're beautiful, smart creatures. They're living on the Kazakh Strait. By the way, one of the only dolphin military training centers was in Sevastopol in the Soviet times, and the Russians now claim that they revitalized the program. So, by their words, they're training military dolphins in Sevastopol. Well, not anymore, because the dolphins are perishing, because the Russian fuel is all over the Kerch Strait. It's horrible. Well, now, my friends, let's take a look at another Ukrainian marine drone innovation. Now, usually we see Magura V5 or Sea Baby. These are the Kerch Strait Black Sea marine drones that can handle waves and everything. But this one is a tiny river drone. It looks so tiny, it probably cannot handle any big waves. But if there are no waves, this thing can do a lot of damage. The Ukrainian Defense Forces are testing the Black Widow 2. River kamikaze drone. These drones are 1 meter long, weighing 8 kilograms, so they're very lightweight. They're like FPV-s, like very small, light and agile, only for small rivers, and can reach speeds up to 40 kilometers with an operational range of 10 kilometers. They carry a payload of 3 kilograms, pretty much like the FPV, honestly. They carry also 2 to 3 kilograms. Sufficient to destroy small boats and watercraft. Powered by an onboard battery, the drones can operate for several hours or remain in standby mode for several days. I can already see this being used for ambushes. It's like a mine that can be activated as soon as it spots enemy vehicles. It's sleep mode, standby mode with the sensor. As soon as it detects movement that resembles humans, it wakes up, gives the alert to the command center, they press go, and it goes kaboom. So yeah, I do see usage for this. Now, you cannot put this on Black Sea. Obviously, the waves will tear it apart immediately or capsize it, whatever you call it. But if there's no waves, this thing can do a lot of cool stuff. Look at it. Awesome. Oh, damn, it's fast. And it went like, it still didn't capsize. I guess it's engineered in a way to always lift back up. But I don't think it can perform in big waves. What do you think? Talking about drones, FPVs, and let's connect these two. Maritime drone Magura V5, built as a drone carrier platform. I'm talking about these boats, Ukrainian marine drones that had FPV drones attached on top of them. And then the Magura V5 drone traveled, look at this, all the way over the Black Sea to the coastline of northern Crimea, then release the FPV drones, which now have additional range because the marine drone has taken most of the load. FPVs don't need big batteries because they're very close to the target, so they can have bigger munitions attached to them. And this actually happens. We have videos about it also. I'll read you the story. It's insane. The Ukrainian technological advances in drone warfare reached another milestone. Only 2 days after downing at least 2 Russian helicopters. Oh yeah, by the way, they shot down 2 Russian helicopters with marine drones. Wow. Ukrainian USVs launched a UAV against Russian coastal air defense system. During this operation, 2 Pantsir S-1 and 1 9K-33 OSA was struck. The first operation of this kind was reported 1 month ago, but this strike shows the capabilities and efficiencies of Ukrainian drone warfare, where valuable and expensive air defense assets worth $50 million of the Russian army get eliminated within invests, which make up only a fraction of it. And fraction, it's really a fraction. Like these 3 FPVs, they cost, what, about 30K, max 15K. I mean, and the drone itself, the marine drone, costs like 100K. So we're talking 100 to 150K. To 50 million. Now that's a return on assets, if I ever know one. Wow. It also further exposes Russian defenses along the Black Sea coast. Yeah. So what the Russians didn't expect with their air defenses, is that the enemy FPV attack can come so far from the Ukrainian coastline, because FPVs don't travel like rotor wing FPVs don't travel this distance. It came from the back. They didn't expect the attack to come from the Crimean side. You know, the Marine drone traveled to the Crimean coastline and then attacked them from the back, from the 6. You don't expect that. Now, my friends, I want to share you a little something to make your Wednesday. This is a Ukrainian driving a ATV, how you call it, I don't know. But driving its mod everywhere, you know, it's on the front line. And in the back, you can see, boom, these are not Ukrainians. These are Russians. All Ivans. What are they doing? Well, supposedly they are prisoners of war. Now, I've seen this video pop up everywhere. Everybody's laughing about it. Now, I do have some questions. Everybody claims they're Russians in the back and prisoner of war transportation. But then I gotta ask, like, what? Why do these prisoners of war have weapons? So don't take my word for it. It's just a funny way to transport. The front guy yells, "Welcome to Ukraine," or "Добро пожаловать в Ukraine." I don't know. Welcome to Ukraine, I guess. So it's something you would say to Russian prisoners of war if they are going like 100 miles per hour in this transport. But I cannot confirm these are Russians. But everybody else is claiming that. Everybody loves a good hacking story. So I'll deliver one. Breaking. The Ukrainian hacker group Silent Crow hacked Rosregister. Yeah, that's how it is. Rosregister. 2 billion records. Well, Federal Service for State Registration, Cadastre, like this is connected to real estate, Cadastre in Estonian, Cadastre, and cartography is critical important resource in terms of real estate registration, cadastral maintenance and cartographic activities. So if you own a real estate, you of course got the big paper with the notarial sign that you own it. But also the state or the local government of your area has an online service database that has these kind of records that yes, you own it. If that database goes down, you only have the paper. If you lose the paper, you have no physical or online proof that you actually own the real estate. And this is what the Ukrainian hacker group attacked. We decided to dump a small part, about 90 million, sorry if I'm wrong with the number, 90 million lines from the Unified State Register for Real Estate Objects. In the full dump, the number is about 2 billion, if I misread the zeros here, 2 billion lines. Now that the work is complete, we can write about it openly. What the hacker group did is, they went to the database, leveled everything, wiped everything, clean, deleted, there's no backups, everything gone. If you own apartment in any kind of like village, city, town, the area that this attack affects, and you have owned it for 50 years and you have already lost the certificate, paper. Online, there's nothing about it. You cannot prove that you live in this place, that you own this. I mean, you live it, but you cannot prove that you own this real estate. Can be pretty bad. There are further steps about the research, about the investigation of who shot down the Kazakh airlines over Russian-occupied Chechen's capital of Grozny. Well, everybody claims it was the Russian air defense, but we still want an official confirmation, and for this we need the black boxes. For some reason, Brazilian engineers are decoding them. Well, we now have the information. Brazil completes decoding of the black boxes from Azal plane allegedly shot down by Russian air defenses. Allegedly. Well, it's not alleged anymore because authorities announced that the data extraction from the 2 flight recorders of Azal aircraft, which preliminarily appears to have been shot down by Russian air defenses and crashed near Aktsu, was completed. All data has been handed over to the Kazakhstan authorities for further analysis. Azerbaijani president says Russian officials are to blame for the deaths of Azerbaijani citizens in the plane crash. The thing is, Azerbaijan, these open threats from Russia can handle it quietly by paying the victims' families and the president knows this. But coming out with these blames openly makes the price for the Russians go up. They have to pay more to silence this guy. Now we jump to Transnistria, which is another separatist region of Russians. It's part of Moldova, but ever since the fall of the Soviet Union, Russia almost always has had military there, and it's like a breakaway region. But things are really bad there. I'm not talking about some small, like, heating issues. We're talking about a humanitarian catastrophe here. I'll read you the whole situation. What's going on in Transnistria, and what role can Ukraine play? Over the past week, Transnistria, a Russian-occupied territory situated between Ukraine and Moldova, has been plunged into major energy crisis. Moscow has halted the free gas supplies that the region has long relied on, leaving 300,000 residents without gas, heating or hot water. Industrial activity has stopped, and limited coal reserves can only provide intermittent electricity until the end of January. So, when January ends, there's nothing. No gas, no coal, nothing to produce electricity from, nothing to heat the central heating systems. People will be in cold. They already are. Blackouts are officially forced 8 hours a day right now. They're going to get worse. Soon there's only 1 hour of electricity per day. There's only gas to make food, but not for heating. I mean, people will die from this. The thing is, Transnistria, their government has refused to buy European Union gas or Romanian gas, even to get it through Moldova. Russia actually has, Gazprom has abilities to get gas to Transnistria via other, like there's one more gas pipeline, the Turk Stream it's called, I think. They can use that to get gas to Transnistria, to Turk Stream takes a little bit of a detour, but Gazprom is not doing it. So yeah, Ukraine might have said, okay, no more gas through our territory. That caused this situation. But Gazprom is also not using another gas pipeline they have. So they are forcing this situation. This is Gazprom's way, Russia's way to again use their energy weapon to cut the gas supplies, to overheat the situation in Transnistria so it would become violent, for example. Why we're talking about what Ukraine can play in it? Because, well, Transnistria has border with Ukraine and with Moldova. Both of them very pro-European Union. If anything would happen there, if there would be a need to militarily intervene, there's no way Russia can help Transnistria. They have no physical connection to it. They cannot fly choppers to it, planes to it. They will be shot down. If Moldovan or Ukrainian military steps in, it will be the end of Russian separatist Transnistria. Now, my friends, let's again, I think this is the last time I'll cover it. Again, Lex Fridman podcast with Zelensky, 3 hours of Lex Fridman pushing Russian propaganda points. Lex Fridman, you have to look at him as a serious person who loves his country and loves the people of his country. He's talking about Putin. Lex is actually a Russian himself. His name is Alexei, I think Alexei Fedotov or something. I might be wrong. Alexei Fedotov, yes. Also, let's see for a moment how Zelensky responds to this claim that Putin loves his country.
You have to look at him as a serious person who loves his country and loves the people in his country. And he conducts, yes, destructive military actions.
Who are you talking about now? Who loves his country?
Putin. Do you think he doesn't love his country?
No.
You have to.
Just laughing and saying no. Yeah, of course he doesn't. I mean, sending Russians to die in Ukraine, no way he loves his people and his country.
Yes.
Another thing is, I want to show you this 30 seconds. I mean, Alexei, I'm not going to call him Lex, he's Alexei. He pushed almost these 3 hours. And Zelensky spoke most of the time, but whatever questions Alexei asked, you could copy-paste them from Russian propaganda points. He showed that he has no thoughts of his own, because everything he asked it could have been out of the Russian Solovyov show, the propaganda show. I mean, if I would make an interview, I would try to at least sell myself as a different, even if I was a Russian propagandist, I would try to sell points so that people wouldn't understand that I'm like publicly talking the same way. He doesn't hide it. He asks the same questions. Let's see what I'm talking about.
I need to ask you some difficult questions about this.
Yes, go on.
I trust and respect your words today. Many people respect and love you in America. Trump respects you.
Loves me?
Oh, come on now. Remember last time you corrected me? When I said that you love Javier Milei, you said, no, I respect him. So let's not talk about love today. But could we talk seriously about guaranteeing Russia's security?
Asking from Ukrainian president of a country who has been attacked for the last 10 years by Russia, asking, can we talk about guaranteeing Russia's security? If you know anything about Russian history or Eastern European history or Russian war history, you know that all of the wars, except for all of the wars in the last 200 years, are Russia invading its neighbors. What security are we talking about? We don't need to talk about Russian security. We need to talk about the Baltics, Finland, Poland, Ukraine. We need to talk about these countries' security because the Russian, they are the threat. They are the expanding empire here. So, by pushing this narrative here, let's talk about Russian security. Oh, Russia is a victim because NATO is expanding. It's a copy-paste from Solovyov show. It's a copy-paste from any Russian propagandist. I'll say it again. If I had any brains and I was a Russian propagandist, I mean, if I was a Russian propagandist and if I had any brains, that's how it meant to come out. I would try to hide my agenda. I would try to push my talking points so people wouldn't understand it. But I guess he doesn't have any brains because he's just plainly copying the text from a Russian propaganda show. It's strange. I don't know why. Maybe he doesn't analyze it this way. But yeah, I'll stop talking about this in the next videos. It's a done deal now. It's an old topic. But Alexei, Lex Freedom, Alexei Fedotov showed himself to me personally as a person who cannot think for himself and for some reason decides to push Russian propaganda points. I don't know why. Now, my friends, I want to show you something that I'm sure you were not ready for. We shot a music video. We did a song and one of the editors produced the song. The link is in the description below. It is in Estonian. Have you ever heard Estonian? I don't think you have. It's like this old Elvish language. It's really cool, very close to Finnish. Go and listen to it. If your head starts hurting, it's because your ears are bleeding maybe. It's, this is why I butcher my Buy Me a Coffee members. This is what language I am reading in. So go and check it out. Link is in the description below. Until my next video, my friends, which will be out on Friday. So be back. But until then, Slava Ukraini and bye-bye.
Kui mina ükskord noores eas võtsin vana naise, kui mina ükskord noores eas võtsin vana naise, siis tema kurat kiusas mind ühest päevast teise, siis tema kurat kiusas mind ühest päevast teise. Läksin surnuaiale, palusin seal surma, läksin surnuaiale, palusin seal surma. Tule surma, päästa mind, vii mu naine hauda, tule surma, päästa mind, vii mu naine hauda. Läksin koju tagasi, naine oli surnud, läksin koju tagasi, naine oli surnud. Surmaingel oli ta oma Kazakhs viinud, surmaingel oli ta oma Kazakhs viinud.